we trucking down on one, getting ready to touch down in Indianapolis. It's been a long night. It's been a long last couple of days. Grinding, trying to get the bag. We have this big old winter storm coming. Now I know the worst of the worst is down a little lower than the state that I'm in and commuting back to Iowa, but I won't be headed that way until tomorrow. So I get here and drop off, and I will have a full day off. I won't be headed back out until 4:30 tomorrow. So I hope that all these truckers have everything that you need on your truck: water, food, canned goods, like your Vienna sausages, tuna, that kind of stuff, just in case you have a breakdown and you're not able to use anything on your truck to prepare a meal, sandwich meat, bread, um, peanut butter and jelly to go with it. What else? Cover. Now, make sure you keep yourself above a half a tank. Try to keep it full if you can. But once you start knocking toward that half a tank, you need to fill up. Make sure if you're in the southern parts, they don't really treat their gas. Um, as far as it freezing up. So if you're down in the southern parts, make sure you got the gel uh, to put in your fuel tanks to stop your fuel from freezing. In the northern states, they treat the gas, but just to be safe, you still want to put that into your gas tank. Each tank, if you want to put some in, you can do half and half. One, a whole bottle though, like a half of it in one tank, and the other half in the other. Just divide it the best that you possibly can. Make sure you got plenty of water on your truck. You always want to make sure you got first aid stuff too. Aspirin, BCs, anything, sinus, cold, flu medicine, soup, all that kind of stuff. With that being said, just be careful if the road you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel safe. I don't care what that driver leader or flash manager tell you, pull it over. This ice and snow and ice mixture, all that stuff is disgusting to play with. In any type of vehicle. So make sure you got your stuff together just in case you do have a breakdown. And at the same time, make sure you're keeping it safe. The load can wait. They can always reschedule. Winter comes every year. This happens every year. I'm quite sure they're prepared for loads to be late or rescheduled due to the inclement of weather. So that load can make it, but the most important thing is you to make it safely, and you keep your eyes out for watching other people on the road, which is the main thing, and control your speed. We talked about this the other night on my live. We talked about controlling your speed. Make sure you're controlling your speed. And like I said, when the plowers can't keep up with the road, what makes you think you're finna do? Yeah, it's some that get by, but I wouldn't chance it. I wouldn't chance my life, someone else's life, and not my CDL either. So, yep. So we riding these bumpy roads of the Indiana. I'm on Eastern Standard Time, so where I am it's 8:55. 8:55 in the morning. And as you can see, the roads are a little white, dusty stuff. That's salt solution that they be putting down on the road. Try and help out with the ice. No, but it's so cold, so cold. I pulled up to pick my load up last night, and my fifth wheel, y'all. Ooh. Let me tell y'all, it is so important that you get out. You're supposed to be checking that when you hooking up to your when you hooking your tractor up to your trailer. A tug test is not enough. You have to physically get up under there and look to make sure that your locking jaws are wrapped securely around your kingpin. Okay? And I've never seen it half wrapped. I've always seen it locked all the way because I check every time. When you connecting your tractor to your trailer, first of all, your fifth wheel and your apron up under the trailer needs to have no daylight in between. So it needs to sit on top of each other with a tight fit. Nothing in between, because you can cause yourself to have a high hook. So you want to bag up partially to your trailer, and if you got that gap in between there, lower your landing gear to where your apron of your trailer is laying flat on your fifth wheel. And once it's low enough to where it's laying flat on your fifth wheel, you're going to go ahead and back it up until it locks into position. Once it locks into position, get out and squat and get up under that tractor and look for that bar to be going all the way across that kingpin. If it's not all the way across, the trailer is gonna come unhooked from there. And in this type of weather where it's negative any degree, okay, your equipment, if it's not lubricated well, okay, and then think about it. If you're in the icy, snowy areas and stuff like that, they're putting a lot of salt down. So that salt, if it could eat a hole in the bottom of a car, what do you think it's doing to your equipment, to your metal and stuff out there? So what do you think it's doing? It's drying it out. So you got to keep that stuff really lubricated. So what you can do is, when I was in flatbed, CB blaster was a must because we were dealing with uh, ratchets and chains and all that kind of stuff. And so your stuff really had to be lubricated for you to handle the equipment with ease. So if you keep that CB blaster in there in freezing times like that, you get out, spray that fifth wheel and the locking jaw. You spray down up in there, it'll lubricate it. And so that's what I had to do. Once I sprayed my handle, I did spray my handle because that wasn't coming all the way out when I was ejecting, trying to unattach from it and try to hook back up. So once I sprayed that down, that and it worked its way in there. You can use WD-40 too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you now, if you do not have WD-40 or CB blaster, use some motor oil. Seriously, use your motor oil. You need something greasy that's gonna lubricate those fittings and stuff to get it to loosen up to where it needs to operate in the way that it needs to operate. But if you get when you get a chance, you need to get you some WD-40. The CB blaster lasts longer. The WD-40 will work, but it won't last long. You're gonna have to constantly be, spraying your stuff down. So if you get that CB blaster and spray that stuff down, man, that stuff gonna work. And so what I did was I sprayed my handle and I sprayed the locking jaw, and then I was able to successfully back up to my trailer with my locking jaw all the way sealed. And once I saw that it was all the way still, I still did a tug test. But seeing it not all the way around was crazy. What's up, Alicia? What's up, Gent, Gentle Giant? What's going on? But but yeah, it was just that cold outside to where it was freezing at. And mind y'all, when I was doing flatbed, I've been in cold temperatures like that as well, and still hadn't never seen that with my locking jaws. So, but I always check anyway. You know what I'm saying? But now I see what they saying when it don't go all the way around. I've never had it happen to me, but this is my first time having that happen to me. Actually seeing that and happen to, you know, take precautions to get it to where it needs to be. And that stuff is important, y'all, because I could have had if I wasn't checking or paying attention. And I'm telling y'all, I was out there. It was like negative 10 degrees. I don't care. I'm not finna drop no trailer. I'm not finna put nobody's life at risk because I'm in a hurry to get out of the cold. So make sure y'all checking that stuff. If y'all out here driving these trucks, make sure y'all getting out checking that stuff, man. If you gotta get you some hot chocolate or something, to warm yourself up before you get out there and start dealing with that stuff, then do it because it could cost uh somebody else's life and cost you your career. What's up, y'all? Listen, I see y'all on here. Do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up for me. One time, hit the thumbs up for me. Grand Rising, y'all. Appreciate y'all watching me. Thinking with your girl. Um, Here in the next few days, y'all. I don't know if y'all know, if y'all new to the channel or whatever, whatnot. I started my trucking career in 2023. And not too long after I started my trucking career, my mother passed away. She ended up having she wasn't sickly and none of that kind of stuff. I mean, she was still working and doing all this kind of stuff, but she ended up having a tear in her aorta valve, and so they had to go in and do an emergency heart surgery on her. And in the process of the surgery, she didn't survive, and that's been a big thing, grieving the loss of my mother. My dad passed in 2016. So my mom passing and not having either of your parents, even though I'm so grown and got kids of my own, I'm a whole grandmother out here. It's just a different when you lose both of your parents. And my mom and both of them left with heart issues. You know, my dad was a diabetic. He really wasn't good at keeping up with his diabetes, and he had a sudden heart attack and was gone like that. My mama wasn't gone like that, but she was gone like that. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, dealing with that process, recently married, now getting ready to go through a divorce. I got a lot of stuff going on that would take a not so strong individual like down through there. Look at that. Trapped by addiction, Jesus sets free. Okay. But it could really take somebody way out of their element. And I'm battling a lot of stuff. Gambling, I took into that. And so I'm trying to work myself out of that. I'm not a perfect individual, but I've been in this relationship with a narcissistic person. Okay. Somebody that battles with NPD. And that type of stuff will take a toll on you, especially when you're grieving. Um, when you're grieving, whether you're grieving your parent, whether you're grieving a sibling, whether you're grieving a child or anything like that, dealing with uh, marital problems and that, man, I just seen it take so many, but I'm stronger than that. But I want to talk about some of that kind of stuff because I feel like if I talk about my situation, even though this is a trucking blog, this is about my trucking lifestyle as well. And it consists of that. So without giving so many details out, I gotta give y'all something. You know what I'm saying? To let y'all know what really be going on out here, what people really be going through while trying to do this type of work. And so I was in a narcissistic, toxic situation. And I'm not saying that I've been perfect, but one thing I am is no, several things I am is uh loyal. I'm not a cheater, and I meet you where I met you. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't trying to get with you and try to change you, or none of that kind of stuff. I try to see the good through the bad. I'm a positive individual, and people that really know me say they know I'm positive. They're gonna always gonna she gonna always find a way. I can't just be mad. I can't be because she gonna find something. Yeah, because it's got to be another way. Like I know your situation is like this, but it ain't gonna stay like this for long. And if it does, that might be kind of you choosing it. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not choosing that, you might need a little help to get you up out of that mentally, like counseling, therapy, talking to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily getting a whole lot of feedback, but just you being able to talk to somebody. And so, someone would like to say that me starting my trucking blog or me decorating my truck or doing any of that type of stuff that initially brings attention. They say that I'm seeking attention. Okay, yeah, it's gonna gain attention, but I'm not seeking attention. It's bringing awareness, awareness, awareness. So I'm gonna be talking a little bit about my personal life because to me, what I'm doing, working, trucking, my job, that's personal too. So I can give y'all a little back, and then I'll be asking for some of y'all feedback, what you think, you know, or if you went through something like that or something similar, you know, tell me what you did. Tell me what happened. Tell me what you did in that situation. Because I know what I'm gonna do about my situation. My situation right now, walk off, smooth off the set. No more going back and forth, hoping that they gonna change. And people change when they want to change. You can't make nobody change. You can't even. You can sometimes influence somebody, but all the time that's not likely. You know what I'm saying? Because people got their own mind and they do what they want to do. But uh, I'm walking off smooth off the set, never looking back, because it's just the same wash, rinse, repeat cycle. So here in the next couple of days, couple of weeks, I'm gonna start getting off into some of that stuff, just questions and answers. I ask questions and y'all can respond to me, and I do what I need to do with it. And whoever else reads it, may be going through that situation, they might take some of y'all comments and use it as some advice. So it's to bring awareness. You know what I'm saying? So what we endure while being out on the road, and just letting y'all in on a few things. And we what 22 miles away from our drop. Yeah, narcissists don't change. They don't change. They don't change. And then they take no accountability. And then they get mad at you for reacting to them hurting you. That's the manipulating part. That's the manipulating part from a narcissist. They do something wrong. You react to them doing the wrong. And then they get mad at you for your reaction. That's complete narcissistic. You know what I mean? Totally manipulate. They flip it around, straight up, straight up flips it around. They take no accountability. That's just like my mom. She passed August the 27th, 2023. Hear me, y'all. She would have been 67 September the 4th. I went on ahead and got married to my husband. 9/11. That should have been a warning right there. 911. But we were already planning to tie the knot, and we just went on with it. But this is all while just recently taking care of my mom's funeral and all this other kind of stuff with my family. And I say my birthday is October the 14th. So when my birthday came up, me and my husband got into an argument, right? Nothing really, really, really that serious. But he called my mama a dead biatch. He called my mom, my husband now, the same person that claimed that they was there for me when my mama passed, literally 2 months after she passed, you call her a dead bitca. Now, this person has their own YouTube page, and he'll get on his page and do all this stuff like he say I do for attention. I gotta talk about it, y'all. It's helping me. He does what he does for attention. He's like, "Oh, my wife don't want to be with me. My wife don't want to be with me. My wife don't want." What would y'all do if your wife don't never want to be around you? Well, your wife is not gonna want to be around you when you try to tell her everything about her is wrong. Oh, I you should wear your hair like this, or you shouldn't wear these types of clothes. What the huh? Y'all, it's called boundaries. I want to lose some weight. How much weight you gonna lose? That's too much. What? Or why you speaking to this person? Oh, you too nice. Huh? Because I'm speaking to somebody that spoke to me. Y'all, if that ain't a narcissist, I don't know what you controlling. And then they say, so what I say don't mean nothing. My feelings don't mean nothing. Well, you're entitled to have your feelings. You feel whatever the way you want to feel. I ain't gonna tell you how to feel. But if me being me makes you feel that bad, then maybe you need to find somebody else. Because I'm not finna change the things that I am because I was all of those things when you met me. And then after you met me and you felt like you had me in your pocket, then you start wanting to change that. I'm a sociable person. I had friends before I met you. I spent time with my kids before I met you. I spent time with my family before I met you. And I also spent time alone when needed be. But all of that became a problem for you. You said, "Oh, well, I cut my friends off." Well, what kind of friend are you to just because you get in a relation? Now, we ain't even married yet at this time, y'all. What kind of person are you to cut your friends off because you in a relationship? You was never no friend because I didn't I never cut my friends off because I'm in a relationship. What kind of friend were you to them that you would cut them off? And furthermore, I didn't tell you to cut your friends off, but you did that because you will do that anyway. That's the type of person you are. And you will do that anyway because that's what you want me to do. Well, you subject yourself to that. So why do I have to subject myself to that? No, sir. Don't get me wrong. My man has a place. My kids have a place. They all have a place. Okay. But you're not going to X my friends out because you X your friends out. You're not going to X my family out because you don't mess with your family like that. Me and my siblings weren't raised like that. And I understand you could be raised a certain way and people still go astray and do what they want to do. But I'm glad that the way that my parents raised me and my two brothers, I'm the youngest, I'm the baby. And I got two older brothers. My middle brother is 2 years older than me. My oldest brother is 2 years older than him, which makes him 4 years older than me. We were brought up like a team. The oldest took care of everybody else. We all fell in line. We worked together as a team. And in these trying times of us losing our parents, that's how we've been doing. We've been having each other's back, regardless on the dysfunctions that we all share, right? We still been having each other's back the best way possible, and our parents will be proud of us. I have never in my life met somebody who is so envious of their siblings that I ain't never felt like I was in competition with any of my siblings. When they doing good, I'm doing good. If I'm doing good, they doing good. We cheer each other on. We have each other back because that's how we was raised, and it stuck with us. So, and then I got a good relationship with my kids. This person don't even have no good type of relationship with his kids. And to me, that's a red flag right there. When a father or a parent don't have a good relationship with their kids, and your relationship is better with your parents than with your kids, that's a red flag. That's a big old red flag. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, I have a good relationship with my kids. It ain't always been rocky, because of course I'm their mom. I'm gonna tell them right from wrong. I mean, any normal parental situation. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, when you dealing with somebody with that type of characteristics, you can call my mama a dead bitch. But if I say something, now I ain't never been disrespectful to his parents. I ain't been nothing but respectful, loving, and caring to his parents. Anytime you can sit up and say, call my deceased mother a deadbeat bitch, and I tell you that your mama doing something wrong or saying something wrong or talking to me about something that she shouldn't be talking to me about, and you snapping off on me at the least little thing I say about your mom, and if she in the wrong, man, you gotta like messed up. You can call my mama a dead bitch, but I can't say nothing to you about your mama who being messy. And then another thing about a narcissist, man, they don't want they truth revealed. As soon as you leave them, they go to doing a whole smear campaign on you to make they self look good. They don't want to look like to be the bad guy. They'll try to throw you up under the bus. Real talk. They'll try to make you look like the bad person. But don't even waste your energy trying to prove to whoever he trying to prove to that you a bad person. They 9 times out of 10, they already know what he on. They just entertaining him with listening to the whatever. Long as you know what you are. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you escape that. You no longer have to deal with that anymore. So what they think about you, it don't even matter. So tell that to somebody who care. I don't care. You can tell them whatever you want to tell them about. Just look at your situation right now and what you doing and where you at. Cause trust me, when you talking about, oh, Leslie did this and she did that, she did this and she did that, she did it, they like, well, shit, bruh, she working, she stacking her bags, she excelling. You still in the same, you still in the same boat. You still at your parents' house at 40 some years old. You know what I'm saying? You 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 still ain't got no good relationship with your kid. You don't spend no time with your kid. You ain't even went to go see your new grandbaby yet. But you got a problem with me when I want to go and see my grandchildren or my children. Sir, you can't turn me into you. I'm not your ex. I ain't your M either. I'm not none of them. And your ex walked off the set and never came back. And now I'm finna be part two and never come back. I'm sick of it. I'm through. I'm through with it. But life be life. But y'all trust to believe I'm still a happy individual. I see the sun, the light at the end of the tunnel. Like I can't be I can't be mad. You know what I'm saying? Cause God just been blessing me. Every time I separate myself from that individual, stuff just be running up off the charts. Off the charts. Soon as I start feeling sorry for them or going back, here come that anxiety. Here come all the what you doing with or you is a here who want to be dealing with all of that? You should be focused on what you got going on, what you need to be doing to provide and take care of your family. You know what I'm saying? You worried about the wrong thing, bro. You can't even get 2 feet ahead because you steady taking 70 feet back. You a straight running back. And I literally mean backwards. It's not good to be dealing with somebody, whether it's a man or a woman. Anybody that handles their emotions they're a full grown adult, but they handle their emotions like a child, that ain't right. And they gonna always be in the right. They never gonna their goal is not to they can understand you and will fight to tell you they don't understand. Because that's the toxicity that they live in. It has to be toxic. Things could be going smooth and well, so you think, and boom, there they go. They sabotage because they need that. That's how they thrive. Toxicity, control, manipulating, gaslighting. That's what they do. And I'm gonna tell you, they will flip that stuff. They will try to flip that stuff around for you to start questioning yourself. You be like, wait a minute, whoa, he did me wrong. Why I'm feeling bad? And he or she was the one who did wrong. Heck no. When you start like, hold up, you just disrespecting me. And now I'm feeling bad and you the one disrespecting me. Don't y'all let yourself fall in that trap right there. Don't y'all let yourself fall in that trap right there. And like I said, I am a woman, and I'm not just speaking to women. I'm speaking to men and women. I'm speaking to anybody that's in an abusive situation, whether it be physical or whether it is mental. It's not right, and you don't deserve that. You'll be happier by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like happier by yourself. You ain't worried about nobody calling you. If I say I'm going to the store, and yeah, I said the store. If I said I'm going to the store, like say for instance, I say I'm going to Kroger, and I'm out there, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Piggly Wiggly first, and then I'm gonna shoot over to Kroger. But as soon as you get to Piggly Wiggly, I thought you said you was going to Kroger. What the? Really? Y'all, I'm telling you, tired, so tired. Since when do I gotta tell you we sharing locations now? Since when do I gotta tell you my whole trip plan? You can see my location. If you look on it, like, oh, okay, she decided to go to Piggly Wiggly. All right. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you? What's the logic in that? Ain't none, y'all. None of the stuff that they do makes no kind of damn sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. It don't even make sense to them. They just be all decombobulated. And the only way to go from where I see it, no contact. Period. No another. And I know that they watching. They watch my page, y'all. I so bad wanted to stop this page and start something else, but I ain't gonna do y'all like that. I got 100 and some subscribers, and God telling me to stick with this one. Just stick with this one. They can watch all day. What I'm doing is for me. It's not to bash this individual. It's not to do none of that. I have to be able to be. I have to be able to talk, and I know that my situation could help somebody else. And I would never want anybody to go through what I've been going through for the past 7 years, the whole 7 years. And I fought myself. I had to take accountability because when I left the first time, I ain't had to come back. When I left the second time, I didn't have to come back. The third time, that was all my choice to come back. You understand what I'm saying? But once I started educating myself with what the heck y'all, I'm sitting up here really researching. Cause I'm like, what is this? I'm talking about they love bomb you. You know what I'm saying? They love bomb you. They real good imposters. They real good actors. But once they feel like they got you, all that stuff changes. And what happens is you steady hanging on to because you thinking they're gonna go back to that first initial person. That's what you're doing. You'll sit there and wait 20 years with somebody, hoping that they just turn back into that guy or girl that you met at first. But they're not gonna get back to that because that's not who they were. Who they What you getting right now is who they are. They was that then. They just was acting. They was fishing. And you took the bait. But once you know you done been caught, you can free yourself. But you have to accept that you were caught and forgive yourself for allowing yourself to let people walk over you like that. You know what I'm saying? And y'all, I ain't no just no pushover. I'm a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I'm a challenge stuff. You understand? So it ain't been like that. But it's been enough for me to now say after 7 years, I'm through. I'm done. Ain't going back, never going back. The love don't just stop. But look, I love me more. You gotta love you more when that person that you with don't even love themselves. Cause if you don't love yourself, how you loving somebody? And you don't even love yourself. Y'all can't be out here falling in love with people that don't love themselves. You gotta love yourself. Because all they doing when they coming with that negative stuff, that's how they feel about themselves. That's really how they feel about themselves, but they want to push that off on you. You see what I'm saying? No, no, no. What husband will sit up there and tell his wife, "Oh, you think you all of that? So you think you all that? What real loving husband is envy of his wife? You know, I'm not no flirting woman. I'm not no thirsty woman. Yeah, men gonna approach me, but I can't control if a man approaches me. I can control how I respond to that approach by simply saying, "Hey, I appreciate the compliment, but I'm a married woman." And that's that on that. But you mad because people approaching me? What you want me to be? A leprechaun out here in these streets? What you want me to be looking like? Ain't you, mammy? Huh? That's what you want me looking like? If anything, you should be excited that men like to look at your wife. They can look, but they better not touch. And you ain't even gotta say that because I ain't finna let nobody violate me like that. I can't stop nobody's eyes. I can't trespass the eye. I can't stop them from approaching me. You know what I'm saying? But when they approach, how I reapproach that situation is by simply saying, "Hey, I appreciate it, but I'm a married woman." You know what I'm saying? I respect myself first, and incline of that respects my marriage. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. But you ain't gonna never get nowhere with no controlling, narcissistic, personality disorder having person. Don't want to get no type of counseling. They played around for years saying that they was gonna get it and gonna try it, but then they say, "Hey, I ain't finna go and talk to no stranger." But you on YouTube talking to strangers about why your wife don't want to be around. No, you don't say why she don't want to be around you. You just say my wife don't want to be around me. I'm just ready to let it go. I'm ready to do this. Okay, let it go. Quit bothering that woman. Let that woman uh live in peace. And you do your best. You go on with your best life. But you say you don't want to talk to a counselor. You say you don't want to go through therapy, but you on YouTube talking to strangers. Make it make sense. It's never gonna make sense with them, y'all. It's all a pawn in their game. And I'm through with the game. I'm through with the game. And then when you talking to their parent, when you talking to their mama about them going to counseling, she mimicking the same stuff he mimicking. And I'm like, no wonder. This where you get it from. You know, no, hear me out, y'all. No disrespect. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I ain't saying no names or doing none of that. I'm talking about the situation. I'm telling you the story. I'm telling you my life. And I honestly feel a narcissistic person was taught to be that way. So I'm sorry to say it. I know it's dad. I know it's mom. He didn't get it from his daddy. He got it from his mama. Real talk. Real talk. Negative Nancy all the time. So let me tell y'all, I wear red lipstick. If y'all seen some of my pictures, y'all, sometimes I be looking cat raggedy. And sometimes, I fix up nice, I dress up well. You understand what I'm saying? But ain't no shame in my game. But I wear red lipstick, and I'm gonna tell you why I wear red lipstick a lot. It's in remembrance of my grandmother on my dad's side. Her favorite color was red. She had her red polish. She had her red lipstick, baby. And whenever I wear red lipstick, it's in remembrance to my grandmother on my dad's side. Every time his mama would see me with some red lipstick on, she would shun away. Girl, you in this red lipstick. You in this red lipstick. At first, I was taking it like jokingly. But after too many times and too many different looks and too many, I felt like it was nitpicking. And I'm like, to where people was like, dang, did his daddy cheat on his mama with some woman with red lipstick? Why she so? So I had got to the point to where I said, you know what? If she say this to me again, because I'm all about respect, y'all. I said, if she say this to me again, I'm gonna politely tell her what I just told y'all. So she would take heed and leave me alone about my red lipstick. And honestly, to tell y'all the truth, when I'm around him and his mother in the beginning, I felt like I was being double teamed. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the typical girl. I ride motorcycles. I fix on cars. I do a lot of stuff that the average woman wouldn't even be interested in. And it is what it is. I mean, ain't no, you know, no shame in my game. And so I think that they all looked at that as me trying to get attention. Excuse me, I'm the only girl. I have brothers, and I was around a mechanic practically half of my life, more than half of my life. And it working on stuff interests me. So
his brother's looking at me like, dang, dude, you gotta watch. She into this, she into that, she into that. But between you and your mama, you're like, y'all like, I'm doing too much. Well, this is who I am. What's up, Just? What it do? What's up, bro? But yeah, I felt like when I was around him and his mom, it was a tag team of negative stuff. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta do my arrival. Stop my clock. But yeah, I was around. Right, we was raised different, bro. We sure enough was raised different. But I felt like when I literally felt like when I was around his mom and him that I was being double teamed. Like real talk. And I'm not with that bullying. And I will flex my arm out so quick. And when I say arm, not physically, um, I'm talking mentally. Stiff arm. Like I'm a receiver running with that ball with their hand out. Y'all know how I go. Pull on up here. Hello. Good morning. Okay. I need to go inside now, right? Okay. Okay, y'all. We finna get ready to go inside. Let's go inside, y'all. Headlights on. Hold on, y'all. Woo. Y'all. When I tell y'all it's cold out here, it is cold out here. Good morning. Y'all cold enough here? I pick up tomorrow, 4:30. Uh, let me see. Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, cool. Y'all have a good. Okay, we'll do. Okay, that's that on that. Y'all, I gotta get the metal glasses. Like, I gotta really invest. All right, let's roll. But yep, when I tell y'all, It be the most dealing with that type of stuff, and I'm just like through, and I just have to literally be no contact, not high or there, responding to this every once in a while, and all that other kind of stuff, because all it is fishing game for them to reel you back in, and you gotta not take the bait. But anyway, enough of that. Back to this trucking though. We finna back this thing on up somewhere and get on down. He over there doing his thing. We finna go do our thing. I'm finna try to get somewhere so y'all can see me back in. But I'm gonna have to set the camera up on something. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry if y'all hear me chewing this gum. I said sorry if y'all hear me chewing this gum. But I am gonna set this camera up somewhere so y'all can see me back. And you know what? Alright. I'm trying to see. Trying to see. We gonna do it over here. Let's go ahead. Cause I really wanna set it on a come on damn thing. Hold on. Those beeping for my seatbelt. But I need to go in here. I'm just throwed off all this morning. Alright. Okay. There we go. Alright. So I'm gonna set this camera up. Set this camera up on one of these trailers so y'all can see me. Okay? Bear with me, y'all. This is live, so ain't no editing or none of that kind of stuff. Y'all kind of like members only with all this live. No edits or nothing. Okay. Up in the park. The yard mule was asking me, was I finna park? Let me see what he trying to do before I do this. What he was trying to do. I need him going about his business though. Okay. So we can set this up. Hold on. We're gonna set this down right there. All right. And y'all can still hear me. I hate when yard mules do more than what they supposed to and be all in your business. Get out of my way. Where I put my phone in. All right. I'm talking about they all in my way. I ain't got shit else to do. All these trailers out here. They all in my stuff. All right, we're gonna cut this thing a little bit. Now, all right. All right, now I'm gonna pull straight up. I know my camera way over there. Hopefully, it's getting all of that. Getting all of this. All right. I'm gonna pull it back. You finna grab it? Okay. You finna grab it. Roll this bad boy down. As I can see, see if this thing hook. Yep. All right, we off the junk, and I can come grab y'all back. That beeping y'all hear is me dumping my airbags so the trailer wouldn't just drop down on its leg. Now we're gonna do some paperwork. Let me go pull somewhere safe and out of their way. But she gone with the trailer. Woo, we got that done. Y'all, it's cold. I don't know what. But that's just that on that. We got a yard that's not too far from here that I'm gonna go park and shut down for. And that's pretty much it for right now, y'all. I have more coming to y'all later today. I thank y'all for watching. And again, this is your girl Sweet Trucker 901. And peace.